Yeah, looks like we're ready. It appears that we are. All right, well, hello and welcome everybody to the stream. This is going to be a bit of a different stream. Today we are going to be doing some Deep Rock Galactic tier list because I've been asked to do these again recently because the old ones I had are like a year and a half old or something like that. And some people just want some more like cut down versions for each of the weapons so they can look them up quicker. And some things have been changed since Season 1 and Season 2 of those other ones being patched. So, I'm going to show you some other stuff. Tier stream? Yep, tier stream blue. So I'm going to show you pretty much how I record stuff. And then we're going to go through the whole editing process of it. And that's kind of going to be what I've planned for this stream right now. Hello, Ron. How are you today? So hopefully this can be kind of helpful to somebody. Plus, I think it'll be fun to do a tier list. We've done these a couple of times live, and they're usually pretty fun. Today we're going to be doing two. We'll do Scouts, and we're going to be doing the GK2, and we're going to be doing the M1000. You? I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. I've been having a pretty fun day. Today we played some Silent Hill for the very first time earlier today, and that was really fun. And felt like doing this stream. One, because a lot of people had asked me for editing streams, and two, because it's kind of convenient for me to make these while I'm recording and stuff. So, anybody wondering, the stuff that I use to record videos, I've got this up. This is Audacity. That's for audio. We'll use that later. I've got my webcam stuff. We'll use that later. And then, of course, I've got handy-dandy OBS, which goes in frames after frames after frames for also recording stuff. And then I guess I technically have Streamlabs up too. Also for frames upon frames upon frames of stuff. So, let me kind of get this up. And whenever I'm here on Twitch. Hey, GDZ, sorry. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. All right, so first up, usually what I do is going to be a little bit loud for you guys. Sorry about that. That's just so that I can have audio synced up later, which would be important. So let's treat this like a regular video and kind of begin. Hello, everybody. Well, all right. Hello, everybody. Let's begin. Today we're going to be doing a tier list video for the GK2. I'm going to be showing you the builds that I use, and we're going to be going over the overclocks and ranking them in our tier list. Good late stream? Yeah, should be pretty good. And we'll have some of this that we can cut out too. So first up, we're going to go over the cleans, then the balanced, then the unstable. We also have chat weighing in on this to see how well they enjoy each of these overclocks. And first up, we've got compact ammo. I've also got Karl.gg pulled up over here. So compact ammo, just to double check, we've got 5 more mag size and 30% recoil reduction. That's pretty awesome. This is a great, well, this is a decent overclock for the GK2, does decent damage. Well, GK2 does decent damage as it is. The overclock doesn't help with that, but you get larger mag size, and recoil reduction is nice, although GK2 it basically has no recoil, and the mag size is kind of whatever. It'd be kind of nice if this was just base kit for the GK2. What do you guys think? Because for me, I think I'm going to put compact ammo into C tier. It's a nice bonus, but it doesn't feel super impactful for the GK2. Any thoughts, or is everybody just on board with that for the GK2? C? Yeah, probably C, Ockle. Like, no downside to it, which is great. The upsides are just kind of whatever, though, because, again, if I'm building regular GK2, I'm usually building it like that. Which, I mean, 30% recoil reduction, awesome, but not necessary, and what, going from 35 rounds to 40 rounds, kind of cool. I feel like, honestly, it'd be nice if, like, just this was base kit, maybe not with this, and just have 35 rounds in the magazine anyway, like without this tier 3 mod, but whatever. It's kind of an average overclock. Nothing really to talk about there. Nothing really crazy. I'm just listening and watching. All right, cool. Oh yeah, Steep Rock content at 5 a.m. Technically 4:45, but still, what are you doing up this early, Doc? I mean, I'm glad that you're here, but if it's that early for you, go back to sleep. I feel like that's a great overclock for if you love the base GK2 and want a bit better. Yeah, I would agree. But I mean, as an overclock by itself, it doesn't change the GK2 immensely. It's just kind of a nice bonus, like a lot of the clean overclocks are. Feels like a COD assault rifle. Yeah. I wish I could make 1211 something work on the GK2. What is that? We can look that up real quick. Let's see, 1211, and then any of these. Oh, so like no spread, low recoil. Yeah, the main problem though with that is just like the GK2 doesn't have that much spread. It doesn't have that much recoil either. Like just normally. That's not bad, but I feel like that only really works with like overclocked firing mechanism, which has the double recoil, because at least that way you're having it and it's going back to normal. But anyway, moving on to the second on our list, we have gas rerouting. Gas rerouting gives us one more rate of fire, and it gives us 0.3 seconds faster reload speed, I think. Yep, that's exactly what it does. This one I think is a bit better than compact ammo. Like, I would rather have rate of fire and the faster reload speed than larger mag size. So I'd put this one slightly higher. I'd put this one up into B tier. I think it's a pretty decent clean overclock. Still a clean overclock, so no downsides to it, and it just makes your rifle feel better. So again, if you're a fan of the base GK2, you're probably going to be a fan of this one. And you can also stack full rate of fire on it, which is really fun. I don't know, this is late stream? Yeah, it's late stream, Edward. This is going to be like a late stream recording session / editing session, just because people have asked me to do it and asked me to redo these tier lists and stuff, since there's so much more new stuff, and I haven't done like individual videos for them for like a year and a half. What do you mean back to sleep? I never woke up. Oh, okay. Yeah, but it chugs too slowly and struggles and has 4 and 5. The GK2? It can be okay. It does high enough damage. I like using. I don't have any useful overclocks. Hello, fellow toaster ovens. Hello, Dan. How's it going? That special build. Yeah, I use the same exact build for this one as I do the standard build. This is just kind of my standard GK2 build. It can be fun to run full rate of fire and you go up to 12. But usually weak spot damage is a little bit stronger there. Armor breaking can be nice with it too. Alright, well, moving on to our other clean overclock, we have Homebrew Powder. Homebrew Powder randomizes your damage between 80% and 140%. So statistically, you'll get 10% extra damage on average out of every shot. However, even if you build full damage with this, you run the risk of low rolling towards Swarmers, I believe. Because you go down to like 14.5 damage, and they have slightly over 14.5 health. It's very unlikely that you'll low roll them, but when you do, that is pretty rough on Hazard 4 and 5. You don't really need the extra damage for Homebrew Powder, but it can be okay. I'm not a huge fan of it. What about you guys? What do you guys think? I'm thinking like C tier, again. Kinda whatever. I think the only good homebrew, well, there's 2 good homebrews. Grenade Launcher, just because it's base kit, and you can take it with just a mod. And like the revolvers, just because it doesn't matter if you low roll. Definitely C tier. Yeah, a lot of C tiers. I don't like letting RNGesus take the wheel, you know? Yeah, I can understand coffee. Yeah, homebrew C tier. Yeah, probably lower than compact ammo. Compact ammo is just a bonus. Homebrew can be a bonus as long as you're playing on has 4 or lower, or if you're going, or I guess 3 or lower, or if you're going full damage, then it can be okay. Because homebrew kind of forces you to take like damage in tier 2 and tier 3. And that's not just to get to like the 20-ish damage that you can have. It's just so that then when your lowest roll, it's like 14.5 damage. So you can still like almost one-shot swarmers. You're pretty much guaranteed to one-shot swarmers. There's a very low chance that you don't. But that's really annoying when you're not able to one-shot them. And outside that, I usually just build it like this, which cuts into our ammo and our mag size, which makes it also kind of annoying. Because I feel like those two are just so nice to have with the GK2. You can go armor breaking, though. If you're not the best shot and you don't hit weak spots that much, armor breaking's okay with it. Because then you're statistically hitting pretty hard on body shots and you're ignoring the armor. So, not too bad there. They need to move that ammo mod. Or just make it base. Just give, like, that, like, the standard amount. And then you can keep these two. Then it's like, do you want to go to another 100 rounds? Which would be nice. Or 2 more damage, which is also pretty nice. So, feels so essential. It can. Also, hello, Ron. Hello, Labyrinth. Welcome. Low ammo efficiency builds are always C or D for me, almost. Yeah, I guess it depends, because usually if you have low ammo, the trade-off is high damage. And in that case, it's okay then, because you can take it on like a Dreadnought mission and do really well. Anyway, moving on to the balanced overclocks, we got overtuned fire mechanism. Oh, whoops, this is overclocked. Moving on to the balanced ones, we have overclocked firing mechanism. This gives us 3 more rate of fire for doubling our recoil with the GK2. In my opinion, the GK2 doesn't really have much recoil, and the recoil is quite manageable. Giving us 3 more rate of fire is pretty impressive, and this one is probably my favorite GK2 overclock to use. What about you guys? Where would you put this? Because I'm thinking A tier. It's like A or S tier for me. It's S tier in terms of fun, it's A tier in terms of good. Hey, Dark Matter, how's it going? Should have filled up in the water before starting the stream. High A tier? Yeah, probably high A tier. Right. Hey, Nova, how's it going? Low A? What kind of stream is this? It's kind of a spur of the moment stream that I wanted to do. Kind of showing how I record, how I make videos, and then how to edit them. And doing tier lists like this to have more interaction with everybody if they want to hop in on this, because people have asked to redo some of these older tier lists that I haven't touched in like a year and a half. So I thought it would be fun. I'm going to move over to YouTube. All right, if you want to. How do you like how your dwarf looks if it's 99% hair? Don't know, Dan. Yeah, I would say overclocked firing mechanism is one of the better GK2 overclocks, and I'd put it up into A tier. It's also super fun to run just full rate of fire build with it. Usually I run something like this if I'm just going for fun with the overclocked firing mechanism. Just so then I double the effective rate of fire from going from 7 to 14. You will chew through bullets with this pretty fast, but you also rip through things pretty quick. And the extra movement speed from Battle Frenzy is pretty great. If you want a stronger build than this, I'd probably still go with the stun and go with hollow point rounds. Or go with hardened rounds if you're okay with just body shots. Weak spot damage is going to get you the most, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to hit with this one. So armor breaking is also pretty good, especially for just shredding through light enemies. And then the Battle Frenzy is pretty great because you will shred through enemies quicker with this build than pretty much any of the other GK2 builds. So getting that constant movement speed is also really nice. But still a pretty flexible overclock. I'll gladly join the party. What are you doing a tier list on, Ron? This is the GK2. We're doing scouts first because I usually do scout last. So I'm doing GK2 and I'm doing M1000 right now. Then we're gonna like edit them into videos and stuff. Need best weapons to kill team with tier list. That would just be C4 nukes and hyper propellant and stuff like that. M1000 is love. Yeah, I think a lot more people are gonna like the M1000 stuff than the GK2 stuff. Although this overclock is genuinely really good. I was about to sit down and look for some more builds. Now I can sit here instead. Yeah, Myth, if you'd like to. I hope your pillow is cold on both sides. Okay. In my thoughts, it's easy to name S tiers and A tiers, and almost S tiers in my opinion. So I think this is a step down from S tier. Yeah, I would probably agree. I don't think it's quite as good as some of the other overclocks that I'm going to be putting into S tier for other weapons. But for like the GK2, it's arguably one of the best ones. All right, so next one is Bolts of Mercy. Bolts of Mercy is one that practically everybody loves, I think. This one gives you 33% more damage towards any enemy that's affected by a status effect. Those status effects do not include corrosion, though, with the new patch of Season 1, where the corrosive sludge pump was added for whatever reason. Don't know why. And these effects do not stack. This all comes at the cost of just 5 magazine size, and this is probably one of the best overclocks in the game because it's extremely unlikely that you're not going to be having some sort of status effect going at all times on enemies. There's just so many status effects that the team can bring now, as well as you can just run electric bolts with Bosco even if you're running solo. So pretty much everything is going to be affected by this. It's kind of a basic overclock, but it is still a very strong overclock. So A somewhere for Bolts of Mercy. I'm thinking A or S, one of the two. It's probably the best GK2 overclock, at least for damaging, but it's also kind of one of the most basic ones, and it's not really my favorite to use. A tier. Can Bolts of Mercy proc itself with a stun mod? Yes, it can. Yep, stuns count, so it can proc itself with stun. You can also proc it with like the cryo grenades or IFGs, white phosphorus rounds, basically any of the bolts from the crossbow. Too bad my headphones just died, no audio now. Oh. S tier. Iron, my son Brody says hi from New Zealand. Oh, awesome. Hi, Brody, and hi, Rug. Is it Rugga? Hope you guys are doing well. New Zealand looks awesome. I want to go there one day. S tier? This late? Hey, Crevice, how's it going? Oh, no. Pheromones feel like infinitely better lures? It depends, because lures are really good for, like, rezzing people. Pheromones can be really good for that, too. It can proc itself. It's definitely S tier. You think so, Diamond? It is really good. I'm thinking like it's low S tier, but like I feel like this is high S, or this is high A tier. This is low S tier. Like this is a slight step up in terms of overall damage. The way that I usually build Bullets of Mercy is going with the stun. The magazine size one kind of feels necessary here because having 20 rounds in the gun just doesn't feel way great. Other than that, it's still my same GK2 setup. Plays basically the same, just it hits harder because that 33% more damage, so that's pretty nice. You can stack all damage with this and hit some interesting numbers. I think you can kill things like slashers and grunts. It might be slashers, grunts, and guards with like 1 to 3 less shots depending on which one of those, which is pretty nice. Makes the GK2 a little bit more lethal, but it is kind of a basic overclock overall. Still really good though. I changed my mind, definitely, yes. All right. It's almost midnight here. Sleep is overrated. All right, Crows. Yeah, it's about 10 where I'm at, so I got some other time. I don't think full damage Bolts of Mercy is necessary, though. No, not usually. And that's why I usually don't run it like that. But you can run full damage and get a little bit, like, strange hit, or strange breakpoints, even more so if you have, like, the IFG, or if you're counting, like, the Frost or something. About 11 for me. Sounds about right. It's so basic. S tier overclock on a B tier gun. That's probably a good way of putting it. 1 a.m. here. 1 a.m. doing good. All right, Ron. Awesome. All right. Moving on to the unstables, we got AI stability engine. This one lowers your damage, lowers your rate of fire, but makes it so you basically have a laser gun. You have no recoil and you have no spread on any of your shots. So you can be pinpoint accurate all the way across the map with it. It's pretty good in my opinion. I really like that. You do need to build it for damage, and it's really not great if you don't build rate of fire. So I'm thinking this one's probably like A tier. What do you guys think? And of course, feel free to disagree with me. If I was here early, I would have mentioned my overclock firing build. Accuracy, mag size, ammo, weak spot, battle frenzy. That's pretty good. I like running full rate of fire. Like rate of fire, mag size, or rate of fire, ammo, mag size, rate of fire, and then battle frenzy. I found it the most effective GK2 generalist build for me. Yeah, it's pretty good. S tier? I mean, you can go back up to 15 damage, which is nice. But you do forfeit the ammo with it too. So you have less ammo overall. which, in my opinion, kind of sucks. If that wasn't the case, I think it would be higher. A overclock for the same reason. I wish it had blow-through ammo. Yeah, if it had blow-through would be nice. S for AI stability engine for sure. Yeah, probably A tier, higher or lower than rate of fire one. I have more fun with the rate of fire one, but that's a good question because you can run through ammo faster with the rate of fire one than you can with the accuracy one. Oh, plus this one gives you weak spot damage. I forgot to talk about that. This one gives you like another 40 or is it another 60? I think it's another 60 actually. No, it's 40. Okay, because you have 10 and then yeah, if you take all this, you go up to 70% more damage on weak spot hits, which is nice. It does make some of these mods completely redundant. You don't need accuracy here, you don't need recoil here, and you don't need accuracy here. So usually I'll build it like this. That way I still have, although you can pick whatever you want. Well, you can pick damage or you can pick mag size here. Because you don't really need the larger magazine with the slower rate of fire. I would go with the weak spot damage though, because having 70% extra damage on every shot is really nice when we're hitting weak spots. Lets you do 51 damage per shot on average per hit, which is really good. So I think I'm going to put it into A tier, probably above overclocked firing mechanism. I think it is a bit better, although I think I like this one better. So I love running weak spot and getting that 70% total damage. Yeah. What's a common suggestion for making the GK2 more unique? Most common one I've heard is just put like blow-through rounds on it. And it's like, if you do that, it's going to be a really nice gun then. I don't think anybody's going to complain if you just have blow-through on it, either baseline, or if you put it in like one of these other ones. Like if you put blow-through right here, or, you know, maybe move some of these things around. Maybe put blow-through down at the bottom. That might be an option. Like take away this one. I don't really think this one's necessary. Because, like, I don't know how many people actually take Battle Cool. It doesn't, like, it reduces your spread, but it's only for 1.5 seconds. And I have really not noticed how great it actually is. It seems kind of average to me. I'm just now getting here. Have you covered the Hurricane on Gunner yet? No, we're only going to be doing 2 right now. We're going to be doing the GK2 and the M1000 right now. I would say it's A tier, just above the overclocked firing mechanism. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a little bit better than that. I just like more base ammo for the GK2, make it a good jack-of-all-trades weapon. Yeah, I would agree. I think, like, just up its mag size, up its overall ammo, and it's good to go. Alright, so then we move on to our last overclock, which is Electrifying Reload. This one actually got changed. This one used to be a little bit worse than it is now, I would say, because it used to reduce your damage. Now it reduces your ammo and your mag size, but it gives you electricity rounds that last a really long time. They last like 6 seconds, and they do 12 damage for every single tick, so you can get something like 72 damage per bullet, potentially. The electricity triggers on reloads, so once you shoot an enemy, you go to reload your gun, zaps that enemy, and then you get the damage over time. You also get the slowdown on it. Electricity's pretty great for that. Electrifying Reload did get better. C tier? I was thinking more along the lines of B tier. Can't give an opinion on this one because I never use it. Alright. I think it's like B tier now. I think it was C tier, but that was when it had damage reduction. Now it doesn't mess with your damage, so you still hit the same amount of damage. Whoops. You still had 15 damage, so you can still like one-shot Swarmer, so it's not that annoying. And if you spread out the damage, and if you take the ammo, it's not that bad. You got 450 rounds. Plus, it does take for 6 seconds. It's one of the longest electricity like zaps that you can do. I don't think it's that great in multiplayer, though. Most of the time when I've tried using it, it's just kind of been average. I've had pretty average results with it. Armor breaking I actually kind of like on this one. And then usually more stun or Battle Frenzy works really well, too. Because then you can just be zapping stuff and keep moving around. So, usually I'll build it like this, or with stun, or something along those lines. C or B? Yeah, is this one like electrifying cherry from zombies? That one wasn't it when you got hit, you electrocuted stuff? It's not really like that. There is a mod that you can put on your armor for it, but it's really not that great. The be optimal with that overclock, you'd have to reloading. Yeah, you'd have to reload quite a lot. That is true. I also use the M1000 for the sheer fact that it has the M1 Garen. Yeah, and it has the ping on it. If I had to pick an overclock above all others, what would you put on it? Oh, for the M1000? Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. If you want to, not really much of a spoiler, but Hipster's the best. Like, Hipster's so strong. All right, I'm going to put Electrifying Reload into B tier. It's an overall pretty solid overclock now. Has some downsides. It's not super practical in a team setting, but if you can space it out, you can get a lot of value out of it. You can get a lot of damage from it. And with certain builds, like if you put it with the crossbow and you have pheromone bolts, it's pretty good. You can spread out the damage pretty quickly. Same with if you have the pheromone grenades. Those are nice. It prolongs the fight, let other enemies still swarm. You are basically kiting the whole time. Yeah, but you can do that with Scout. That is true. I'm not downplaying that. And most of the time I don't use it that much. I just use it just to fire at stuff. And then maybe get a little bit of electricity damage on like some big things, or if I'm just firing into a crowd a ways away, it can be pretty decent. I wish Warthog had more overclocks. Yeah, it only has 5. Zukovs only have 5 too. They should really get like 1 more. I just play Scout for the boomstick. Boomstick's pretty awesome. Also made my Scout look like Hagrid. Hagrid's got a boomstick. Everybody look out. All right. So that's all of the GK2 like loadouts. Let's go over to the M1000 and talk about them. I haven't reset them since last time, and I don't think the M1000 has changed all that much. Usually on the tier list maker, I'll change the colors here too, just so that they look a little bit more distinct, because otherwise you get like 3 or 4 tiers that look about the same. If it worked like embedded dets, you could definitely unload an entire clip into a detonator, and it would slow down for 45 seconds tops. Yeah, if they stacked. If they stacked, then that would be really good. That would make it like far better. But I guess they kind of stack, but it's more like resetting the timer each time. So it's like, it's better if you just spread them out over stuff. Oh, if they buff it, I tried it with the triple bolt magnetic bolts. It was cool. Oh, for the crossbow? Yeah, that is a really fun combo. It's really good on Dreadnought missions. You can run through ammo with it quick though, but it is really fun and really strong. All right, so again, I'm going to do another one of those clap syncs. That's just to help us out later on in the editing. So this might be a little bit loud for you guys. I'm going to try not to make it too loud. Where's minimal clips? Minimal clips is right there. All right, well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the M1000 overclocks, and we are going to be ranking them in our tier list. I'm also going to be showing you the builds that I use. I'm going to be using Karl.gg for that. And let's get right into this with the clean overclocks. First up, we have hoverclock. Hoverclock makes it so when you use a focus shot and you are off the ground, then you will start hovering. You lose momentum that way, and it can be great for stopping your falls, which can be pretty useful for Scout. This one has no downside to it whatsoever, and you could argue that it may or may not have an upside, but it is a very fun overclock to use, so this one is kind of going to be wherever you want it to be is probably correct. All right, so where would you put hoverclock then, guys? A tier? That's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, it's cool. It's not as cool as like special powder. It's not as fun as that, but it's good. B or C? Yeah, B or C I think is fair too. I thought the minimal clips icon was different. It might have been, or it might have changed, because some of them have changed here, and this, like, some of these lists hasn't been updated in quite a while. This is funny. It sounds like a normal Ron video, but it's live. Yeah, well, that's kind of the idea, Gregory. It's just going to be a normal Ron video. I'm going to show you how I edit these videos, or how I edit some things like streams into videos, and just kind of what I do with them. Hoverclock, on it. Ranking honestly boils down to the user's preference. Yeah, I would 100% agree. If you don't care about the hoverclock whatsoever and you're fine with the grappling hook, or you're just in love with special powder, it's like D tier. It's completely unnecessary. If you don't have any other overclocks, it's a fun overclock to run. It can also be really buggy in multiplayer, and it can be a lot of fun. So, depends on how much fun you get from it. It's cool. It changes the way you play and addresses a big vulnerability with Scout. Yeah, it can. It depends, though, because there's plenty of missions where you may never use it, or may never need to use it. So, I think, yeah, Hoverclock, I'm going to put it up into A tier, just for the sheer fun of it. But again, it could go in any of these spots. Depends on how much fun you get from it, because as an overclock itself, it doesn't really change the weapon that much. It just kind of changes the way that you can play the weapon. Guess I should make an M1000 Classic build, which is usually like this, or like this, and then Hoverclock. I do like stun on Hoverclock, but extra ammo, armor breaking, extra rounds, blow through rounds. Armor breaking with the M1000 is just so nice, because you hit that nice amount of damage, you double it with a focus shot, you go up to 110. That's enough to one-shot regular grunts, at least if you have the armor breaking on it, and you can potentially punch through 3 of them. So, plus you can do it 7 times with that amount of shots, which is really nice. I would take B tier, or you would put it into B tier. Hipster definitely A tier. Hipster A tier. All right, up next we have Minimal Clips. Minimal Clips gives you extra ammunition and gives you a faster reload. This is nothing but a bonus for the M1000, and the M1000 is pretty great without any sort of overclocks on it. This is kind of everything that you want in a clean overclock. We'll get to Hipster. Yeah, we'll get to Hipster. Hipster is S++, probably double S++. Yeah, it should honestly go like up here, because of how high it is. But yeah, Minimal Clips, I think Minimal Clips is like A tier. I think it's one of the better like clean overclocks just in general in the game. Because if you have Minimal Clips and you take this exact same build, you go up to 17.5, which rounds up to 18 rounds, which means you have 9 focus shots in total that will one-shot grunts. And if you have blow-through rounds on there, they can potentially one-shot 3 grunts with every single focus shot. So that's pretty good. It doesn't really do that much, though. It used to be better. It used to also give you extra ammo overall, because it doesn't affect your ammo now. It used to give you like 16 shots or something extra, which was so nice. But now that it doesn't do that, and it's just like slightly faster reload, which is nice. You can reload cancel, but you can do it slightly quicker now. And the 18 rounds is really good. There needs to be a tier above S for Hipster. Yeah, well, there'd probably be a couple. Just type in a broken one up here. Okay, normal shots, one-tap grunts in the head. Or do you need the tier 4 mod? Yeah, they can one-tap, because headshots on grunts will do double damage. So, like, you'll do 110 damage, and grunts have 108 health on hazard 4 and 5. So just with a standard shot, you'll still one-shot him in the head. You can use the focus shot and one-shot him through the body as long as you got the armor breaking. If you don't have that, then they have 20% armor, so they have 20% damage reduction. Or sorry, 20 armor, that counts as 20% damage reduction. So like, you don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this. None of those are necessary to just like one-tap regular grunts. Whoops, that's GK2. Guess we can close that tab. Oh wait, I'll stop clicking on it. Does armor breaking basically give you true damage? Towards anything that has light armor, yes, Coffee. Towards anything that has heavy armor, no. Then it's essentially you're attacking the armor itself and trying to strip the armor off. That's all armor breaking does. So like on Praetorians, you have to strip away the armor to hit them, or at least to hit them with the majority of the damage. And then on something like regular grunts that have light armor, they essentially have 20% damage reduction as long as you're not hitting them in the head and you don't have armor breaking on your weapon. There's a couple other bugs that are kind of weird too. If you're hitting anything in the weak spot though, it doesn't have armor. It just has, you just do extra damage to it. I think with the one exception of it being like the Brundle flies. And stuff like oppressors can break the armor. Yeah, stuff like oppressors, you can't break the armor at all. Oh, thanks, Noah. Getting bots in this. Yeah, I love using RJ250 with armor breaking to combo bugs. Yeah, you can do that. The problem with that, though, is that the grenade launcher's armor breaking is broken at the moment. It only works on the actual projectile itself and not the explosion, for whatever reason. Why did a bot show up this late? They don't bloody sleep. Yeah, all right. I'm going to put minimal clips into A tier above hoverclock. I think it's more practical than hoverclock, and it's just a solid all-around overclock for the M1000. It's really nice to have. Up next, we got active stability system. This one makes it so you can move at normal speed when using your focus shots, and you also have 19% faster focus speed. Downside is you have a slightly longer reload. Good news to that, though, is that you can reload cancel the M1000, and the reload speed debuff is not that major. C? Really? C? I think this is like A tier. High B, low A. I would say, yeah, I'd say it's something along there. Because essentially it has almost no downside. And you can move at normal speed when using focus shots. Plus you have that 20%-ish faster focus shots. You can actually even go higher with 40, yeah, you can go up to another 44%. If you want to and you're only using focus shots. I still like the armor breaking on it. But I think it's just a nice quality of life overclock in my opinion. I'd say at least B. Yeah. Will only direct damage. It does damage the armor. Yeah. Hey, no way, Iron. Hey, Wasteland, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, I think I'd put active stability system up into A tier. It's quality of life overclock. Maybe it's not as great as these other two, but it's still really nice. I think it's not as good as minimal clips. Arguably better or worse than hoverclock, just depending on your preference. But I think it's actually pretty good. It's kind of just nice. The armor is literally sucking off all the radial damage if you go with the armor breaking. Yeah, it doesn't work quite right. I think it's also technically bugged with the autocannon because of its area damage, but I don't think it matters all that much with the autocannon because usually you shoot something like 100 times and it's going to die or you're going to strip all the armor off super quick anyway. Never knew that about the nade launchers. Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's also an odd thing that's an interaction with hyper propellant, and if you take the fire mod, because hyper propellant does not count as regular explosive damage, it counts as disintegration damage, so you don't get any downsides with it. You just get fire damage added on top. So hey, repeat, have a nice stream. Oh, well, thank you. Let's see, streaming later than usual, Ron. I was surprised. Yeah, a bit later, Hellwalker. All cleans are B except for hoverclock. All clean? No, not all cleans. Because like lightweight cases with the breach cutter is so good. Special powder is so good. Minimal clips is pretty good. It changes the gun entirely. Yeah. You could also say that about manual guidance cutoff. But that's not a good thing. This one, yeah, this one is actually a good thing though. All right, moving on to the one that I'm sure everybody wants to hear, Hipster. Hipster's still not been touched in the longest time, and it's still super busted and super overpowered at the moment. Yeah. I don't think we really need to debate that Hipster is S tier. Triple S tier, yeah. It depends on, is it higher than this? Is it like busted beyond belief tier? Maybe not. I don't think it's busted beyond belief, but it is kind of overtuned. Hipster reduces your damage by 17 damage, I believe. So you go from, I think it's from 55 to 38. And then it pretty much doubles the amount of ammo that you get. It halves the amount of spread that you have, halves the amount of recoil you have, or something along those. Yeah, basically. Basically, it gives you everything that you want in the M1000. And it's super flexible, too. It also ups your rate of fire by nearly double. So you can just spam fire this thing like crazy. Great news is you can kind of build it however the heck you want because it's going to work regardless. My normal build is still this one for Hipster, and that's just spam fire build. You can fire it out super quick, reload it super fast, and yeah, that's usually the way that I use it. You have 260 shots, 274 shots if you count that. shoot it at anything. You can also build it for damage if you want, if you don't think the ammo is necessary, and hit a little bit harder. Helps you kill bigger things a little bit faster. You can also build it for focus shots, which is kind of weird too. If you take the damage in tier 1, tier 3, and the armor breaking in tier 2, you hit exactly 108 damage with a focus shot, so you will kill grunts with one shot from that too. You only have 4 focus shots, but with blow-through rounds, again, you can go through potentially 3 grunts and kill all 3. So if you like focus shots, there's also a focus shot build for you. Hipster's S, everything is clearly D tier. Well, maybe in comparison. How would you nerf it, Rod? How would I don't know how I would nerf Hipster, in all honesty. Like, because you could take away, you could actually just take 1 more point of damage away. That makes so you can't use the focus build with it, so it's not as flexible. But it's still going to be really strong with the amount of ammo that you get. And if you're using spam fire, you won't care. You should probably just make it so that this can only be built as like a spam fire build. It's still probably going to be the most fun M1000 overclock to use then, but at least then it's not as flexible and just as good as it is. Focus shot Hipster is basically a do everything build. Yeah, more or less. Jokes aside, I'm not a fan of Hipster. I don't feel like I'm doing enough damage, and the spam firing isn't just my thing. My finger gets tired pretty quick. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, thank you for the subscribe too. Is it Shalin? Shalin? Hope I'm saying that right. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I do apologize for that. How would you bring it down? How would you tune it back to bring it down to S tier? Yeah, I think if you just made it to where it's only a spam fire build, it would still probably be like an S tier overclock, but it wouldn't be like just a hands down better than everything else overclock, because like none of these are really competing with it. Like minimal clips maybe, because it does have a focus shot build and it's just a nice quality of life one, but that's just like if you like the M1, the standard M1000, you just want a little bit of a bonus to it. I don't think anything else is really competing with it. You can one tap with the tier 4 to the... Oh, yeah, you can. If you go damage and you go... those two, huh? That's a one tap to the... Yeah, that's a one tap to the head. Is it even necessary? Yeah, okay, you do need the damage. Yeah, so you can also build it like that. If you just want to one tap grunts to the head with standard shots. Here's how to nerf Hipster. Can't focus with this mod. Yeah, if you took away the focus shot entirely, that'd be an interesting downside to it. I mean, it would just make it so you... Yeah, well, that'd be fine, though, because it just makes it so then you don't go with the focus build. Experiment D tier. Angry Hipster enjoying noises. Alright, let's move on to the unstable overclocks. First up, we have electrifying focus shots. This one gets us electric shots on our focus shots. However, we lose out on 25% of our focus shot damage per shot. What do you guys think about this one? D? D? I don't think it's D. I don't think it's that bad. B? Yeah, I'm thinking like more B or C tier. C? C, high B, definitely C. I find it honestly not too bad if you take blow-through rounds with it. And so long as you're hitting multiple enemies. It kind of sucks, though, if you want to take this to go back up to normal. Although you probably don't, because it's kind of... You don't need armor breaking with this one. So you can build it for more... Like, kind of like this. Or something like this. Where it's sort of its own weird hybrid thing. Where it's like, it can kind of deal with crowds, but it deals with them slower than the standard M1000. It kind of has status effects. This only lasts for like 4 seconds, though, too. Yeah, 12 electricity for 4 seconds, so you're dealing 48 damage on top of your damage. So, I mean, you can still one-shot, headshot normal grunts, but you can do that with anything from the M1000. So, could be A. Could be A. Armor breaking and weak spot damage are great for dreadnoughts. Yeah. It does have a utility unlike super cooling chamber. Just getting hipster is my favorite scout overclock. Yeah. You stake stun off because of the electric slow. That is true. You don't really need it with that. You could go with fear, or you could go with faster reloads. The tier 5 is kind of flexible with the M1000 though. You can kind of pick whatever you want. I mean, it's okay if you're going to have a focus build. I mean, using the other unstable one, to be honest. Yeah. Feels like it needs a bit more. It does feel like it needs a bit more. Like, it needs something else. The weaks, like, just the damage drop off with the focus shots, and you having to use focus shots to trigger it. Maybe if you just had it have, like, a 1 second electricity tick on regular shots, that could be a decent enough buff to it. Where it just does like 12 damage on electricity tick and slows them down for that like 1 second. That might be decent enough. It might just might turn it into a spam fire build then. Well, for me, I don't really like the M1000, so my opinion is useless. I wouldn't say that, Ryan. Yeah, I'm gonna put electrifying focus shots into B tier. I think it's okay. It can work all right with the M1000. You don't really need it though, because the M1000 is already a great gun without overclocks, and this just makes your focus shots feel really awkward. But you can spread out pressure to certain enemies. It can be okay if you want to play like a support build with Scout. It's okay. Electricity's nice to have, yeah. Everybody has different preferences. Like, I don't like the Drac at all, but love the GK2. Yeah, there you go. Single shot electricity and AoE electricity proc on focus shots would be cool. Yeah, I agree. This overclock is a trap, kind of. If you only want it for like crowd control or support, it's an okay overclock. And if you're aware that you're just going to be doing that, it's okay. But as like a damaging overclock, it's not as great as some of the other ones. Like taking minimal clips or taking an AI stability system is going to be better. Or active stability system, sorry. If I had electric AoE on focus shots, then maybe. Yeah, maybe. If it could spread. The M1000, at least to me, feels really defined by do you want focus or not? No. Hipster, yes. Super cooling chamber and basically everything else. Weird hybrid build. Kind of. I would say focus shots are actually better. Well, you can actually build it focus hipster. Focus minimal clips and focused active stability is also pretty good. So, I guess it just depends. All right, then we've got super cooling chamber. The heavy hitting overclock that's maybe not as heavy hitting as it could be. So what super cooling chamber does is it lowers your ability to focus. So you focus slower, you can't move while you're focusing, and you get a lot more damage in response for this, but it's only on your focus shots, and you lose out on ammo overall. Super cooling chamber bad? Yeah. D tier? Is it D tier though? Compared to other overclocks? Because I'm gonna be putting like some of the other ones into D tier that I really think need to be changed. I think it's honestly C tier just for the fact that it works on like Dreadnought missions okay. It works on one mission type okay. Non-movement is bad. Non-movement is bad, but you're playing Scout, so it's pretty easy to switch to your grappling hook and get away. So I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. See, I think it's much better than the other unstable one. Really? I don't know. Both of them come with their own downsides. And super cooling chamber doesn't hit that hard. Because you do go up to 225% damage, but that's still not... Well, you can actually go up higher than that. So you can go up to 250%, but that's still not as hard. Well, you can't shoot this as fast as something like Hipster. If you're comparing damage for damage, I think even minimal clips out damages it, even if you're using focus shots, which is kind of a bummer with this. It also kind of forces you into building ammo. Because, like, you could take damage and get a little bit more out of it, but you have so few focus shots then, and you have to take a secondary that's just for clearing up stuff. Just my opinion, though. Oh, yeah. I didn't say your opinion was wrong or anything. Well, you can't really have a wrong opinion. But thanks again, Nova. Bots are out in force. $177 raw damage on super cooling chamber, I think. It's something like that. I don't know. I have a calculator right here. We can just pull that up. So let's see. Max damage, we're doing 250% more damage. We go up to 110. Or sorry, 110. Whoops. I'm hitting all the wrong things. Multiply this by 2.5. Oh, whoops. Did I take that back down to 0? Okay, 2.5 times 110. We're getting 270 damage per focus shot. That's not too bad. Can potentially be doubled. Oh, wait, no, that's not it, because that's, whoops. Because double damage is the 100%. So we are not getting that much damage. I think you're right with the 177. Yeah, because we're only getting that 150% increase. It would need to be a 200% increase to double it. Whoops. I know it's less than what it seems like. Chat in the bot. Hey, Ray, how's it going? The ammo just kills it. Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that, Storm. The ammo just kills it off. Oh, whoops, I didn't actually mean to close the calculator. Dang it. There we go. So 55 times that by 2.5. Oh, wait, no, it's 137. So it's less than the 177, which is not great. Did you see my message above on my viewpoint on super cooling chamber? No biggie if you missed it because of all the chat messages. I did not, Nova. I can scroll back up, though. Let's see. That the bot. It's right there. Despite the downsides of super cooling chamber, I'd argue for high B tier. By that I mean above the electric focus shots. I could see that. I mean, we could do a compromise here too. How many people think the super cooling chamber is better or equal to electrifying focus shots? We finished the electrifying focus shots, but just want to say the combo of electrifying focus shots and saying like embedded deaths or gas rerouting is actually fun. Yeah, it's equal. Electric focus shots better. Better. Electric focus shots is much better. Equal. Okay. I would say it's above it. Say equal or better. Kinda, but I prefer electric. Electric isn't as much of a downside. I will say that. So, I don't know. What do you think? Put them both into C tier? Something like that? Or potentially something like this? Because it's like electrifying focus shots is just kind of a not a great one to be using focus shots on. Super cooling chamber lets you hit hard with it, so your focus shots do matter, but every time you miss, it hurts you far more than if you miss an electrifying focus shot. Plus, you can build full damage with super cooling chamber, and that's not too bad if you want to actually like be hitting things fairly hard. I mean, compare them to hipster. Well, if you're comparing them to hipster, like if we're comparing this to hipster, it's like, okay, D tier, D tier. This one actually does kind of is somewhat close to it. And this one's probably like B, because it's like, this is nice, but I think this one's a little bit better. But I don't think that's really fair to be comparing it to like the highest one. Comparing anything to that, something like that that's that broken. Well, it depends if you're comparing it to like other weapon overclocks. It's like, okay, is hipster better than like auto cannon overclocks, or some of the minigun stuff, or maybe like triple tech chamber that's also busted at the moment and gets you like 50% damage reduction from all sources. Then I think it's kind of fair to compare them, but I think hipster is not broken, but other overclocks are needs some buffs? Yeah, probably. Super cooling chamber B tier on the fact that you can do it right. But if not, then you're screwed. Potentially. The issue we keep coming back to is how you compare to perfection of hipster. Yeah. Well, yeah, just kind of like don't think about hipster, take hipster out of this entirely. And that's kind of where I want these to be, because it's like, okay, if hipster didn't exist, so yeah, blasphemy, put it down here. If hipster didn't exist and these were just the overclocks you had, I still probably wouldn't say any of them are S tier. I would probably say like minimal clips or something like active stability system is the best one then. But I would say these are pretty equal to one another, because they're both quality of life overclocks. They both feel really nice. And then like these ones still aren't that great though, just compared to the like these ones right here. These ones I think would still be better than it. But hoverclocker hipster is all I need yet. Electrifying focus shots is good for team play. Yeah, it can be. It's good for a supportive role, like I said. It's like, if you want to be a supportive role, or you want to deal some damage over time, or you have some other teammates with synergies with electricity, it can be decent. But if you're not looking for any of those, and you're just looking for something else, I don't think that electrifying reload or electrifying focus shots is quite as strong. It also does have to compete with some of the other stuff, like the Drak can just have electricity on it normally, and it's easier to spread out electricity with it. I like using the challenge, or I like the challenge of using super cooling chamber here or there. Keeps things interesting by changing my loadout. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's nice for that. I feel like it should get buffed though. I feel like you should just take away like the ammo debuff from it, and then it would be fine. Or make it so like the damage of the regular shots is increased quite a bit, so that you don't feel like you're locked into using focus shots. I think those would be nice changes for it. Because like right now, if you take this and you barely use focus shots with it, you're just nerfing yourself, because you just don't have ammo. My eyes go to sleep. I honestly think that the focus speed downside hurts the worst. Yeah, it feels the sluggish. Like it makes the M1000 feel really sluggish. They should rework super cooling chamber to be the opposite of hipster. It kind of already is. I mean, I guess one thing that you could do with this is also just drop the rate of fire, if you're gonna do something like that. Like buff the regular damage, keep the ammo the same, drop the rate of fire down so you can't hip fire it that quick. But you can use focus shots, and then the rate of fire doesn't really matter. I wouldn't be opposed to that, Coffee. That sounds like a fun idea. Okay, well, those are all of our overclocks for the GK2 and the M1000. I guess let me do my little outro here of thanks everybody for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and tell me your thoughts on the overclocks down in the comments below. And thank you so very much for my patrons. I really do appreciate it, as well as my supporters over here on YouTube. Very nice to have you here, and very nice to have you in the chat too. Thanks everybody for being here. Really do appreciate that. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye! Alright, so now that that's out of the way, we can move on to the editing process. So, stopping all of this stuff, and then cleaning up some audio stuff. This is like the things that I usually just take extra time. Woo, editing, yeah, woo, editing. And we can still talk about the overclocks and stuff, like if you guys want to. Because, well, I guess I could show you guys this. This is the first thing I do for editing, which is just editing my, well, yeah, my audio here. Let's see. Usually I do a few little things here. It's just to cut out, like, background noise. Like, you can see where I'm speaking on here, and then you can also see, like, the background noise of, like, my cooler in the background and stuff. Thoughts on the new grenades for Season 3? I'm looking forward to them. I think they're really cool. Let's just see. So any part of this we can take, add some noise reduction to it, so get rid of all that background stuff. Let's see, what do you build for the double barrel? The clean overclock for the boomstick. Oh, double barrel overclock? Fancy run? Not really. This isn't too fancy. I'm just particular about some of this stuff. What do you think electric focus shots needs to be A or S tier? Take away its weak spot, or take away its focus shot damage nerf, and maybe make the downside something else. Maybe just slower reload speed, and then it'd probably be like A tier. Fancy to me run? Oh, okay. So yeah, now we can kind of see it's like there's no background noise here, or very little. This isn't going to be able to be heard. And the voice there, and then we save it as something. Let's see. Oops. It doesn't really matter how I spell. Half these things are misspelled here. Live stream. Editing. Misspelled editing there, but that's fine. Boomerang's nice addition. Ripper is going to be my go-to driller nade. Shredder may compete with plasma bursters, and Gunner's grenade will be nice alternative to clusters. Yeah, I kind of have the same opinions, Crevice. I'm going to try them all out. I'm looking forward to drillers the most, because I want to chuck that out. Can someone do the math on the super glowing focus damage shot? Well, we kind of did. It's not way great. I think it's like 137 damage or something like that with a focus shot, or 177, somebody was saying. I might have done it wrong. All right, export the audio. Gotta pick that up. Who cares about spelling when it comes to... Yeah. Well, it's kind of a pain, though, because when I'm pulling these in, I'm like, what the heck did I, like, write in this or anything? I see her on. So I wait on the Overwatch 2 queues. Oh, all right, DR. Yeah, I heard they got really messed up. Like, all the servers got DDoSed or something. Oh, well, okay. I guess my Audacity's being kind of weird. Yeah, it doesn't want to respond. All right, I also have to compress my webcam, or change my webcam, because it records in its own, like, native stuff, which is very weird. So, usually you don't have to do this with other webcams, but I guess if you're going through Logitech stuff, you might if you're importing it to Vegas. Just for anybody wondering what the heck I'm doing. Just all the all the face stuff here. Live streams, the stuffs. Good enough. Alright, hit that, and then it's gonna go and compress in the background. Hopefully that doesn't make it terrible or anything. 179, 110 is the normal focus shot. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, you're right. Air bedtime. Good night, guys. Good night, Brian. Take care. Oh, your mug shots. Yeah, there's plenty of them on there. There's plenty of stuff like that I have on the computer and just haven't like deleted and stuff. So, oh, one thing that was kind of funny. Apparently I showed up, or at least somebody was tweeting at me, saying that I showed up at TwitchCon, which wasn't entirely untrue, I found out. For whatever reason, one of my names was there. It was like on people who had the most charity campaigns or something that ran for like the last 3 years. I think I was like the 5th. I was like, huh, that's kind of cool. How big are your hard drives? The big one that I put all the footage on is 8 terabytes. Then I've got a 3 terabyte one, and I've got 2 SSDs. One that's no, I think both are a 500 gig. Maybe one's a terabyte, one's a 500 gig. You went to TwitchCon? Well, apparently. Not in person, though. 8 terabytes? Yeah. Yeah, and I've almost filled up the 8 terabyte one. That's from, like, a 1.5 years worth of recording. I gotta downsize it. But yeah, once all, well, actually I can start getting some of this other stuff set up too. So, open up Vegas. Who's number one? I don't recall. I actually have a picture somewhere. All right. So, start up a new project. Oh, there's all my thumbnails and stuff. Yeah, because I usually go into here to grab the thank you page. All right. You can see I've got a bunch of stuff piled up here too that I just gotta like go through and delete. Yep, that's the one that we just barely did. And we don't even need this track because it's just a dead track with nothing on it. I will keep the other one though. So in OBS I record my audio as well. This would be like game audio. This would be voice audio. So this one's this one up here is recorded from the headset. This one recorded from the mic. So we'll just get rid of that. And then once our other thing is done, we'll load that up. Ron, you should try Hypercharge Unboxed. I can see you really liking it. Oh, okay. I'd never heard of it, so maybe. What video editor are you using? This is Vegas Pro 19? Yeah, 19. I've always used Sony Vegas. This one's one of the legal ones. Originally, when I started on YouTube, when I didn't have money to buy like a $600 editing software, I found it through other means. But this one is 100% paid for. This one's a legal one now that I can't afford stuff like that. Sure, illegal. This one actually is. And this one's a whole lot less. This one I think was like 180 or something like that, which is still kind of expensive, but I haven't had nearly as many crashes with this as I had the not as legal ones. They give you a lot more crashes, which is bad. Yo ho ho, a pirate's life for me. Well, when you spend all your money just trying to get your setup going, like you just spend it on your mic, on your monitors, on a gaming computer that wasn't really a gaming computer, had like a tiny graphics card. And I mean, it was like, at least at the time that I was doing it, I was only aware of like 2 editing softwares. That was like Sony Vegas, or it's not even Sony Vegas anymore, it's just Vegas. I don't think Sony owns it anymore, but whatever. And like, was it Premiere? It's like those were like the 2. They made their money eventually. Yeah. And in all fairness, I do actually like a lot of Sony stuff, so. All right, videos, live stream stuff's almost done. Usually I use the Zukovs with the Pretz and detonators. More bots. Thanks, Nova. Thank you again. Yeah, there are some great free editing options though too. I tried using what was that one called? I tried using DaVinci Resolve. All right, so Facecam. This is what kind of why I recorded separate, because I have Facecam that I can move around wherever I want, and then I've got another audio track that also records my audio, which I'm not going to be using. And then I've got Audacity, which even something like live stream edit. Yeah, okay, good. This is the problem with editing things differently. Die Infernal Machines. Nova's on fire. I really enjoyed this stream. I'm gonna head off to bed now. Now keep up the great work. Oh, thank you. Take care. I want to say Nova for your name too, but yeah, take care. All right, so audio's all here, and you can see it's not really synced up, but that's okay. We can sync it up. Get everything pulled together. This is also why I did some claps too. Apparently I was just speaking there at some point. Alright, well, let's kind of listen to this and see. Let's also mute these tracks, because otherwise it's going to sound horrible. Alright, well, hello and welcome everybody to the stream. Yeah, okay. So, where is the... Okay, clap sync is over there, I think. Nope. Clap sync's over here, okay. This is why I was clapping, just so that I can line up all this audio. And this is where I know the video is actually going to start. Or maybe it's here. Let's treat this like... Nope, over here. Alright, hello everybody, let's begin. Today we're gonna be... Alright, right there's where the video will start. So I'm just gonna cut all this stuff at the beginning. It's not necessary. I just grab all of it. I should be going to bed because I have to keep moving my stuff tomorrow, but I'm glued watching this stream. Alright, Noah. My character in D&D is a pyromancer. Awesome. Sounds like a great choice. Alright, then let's put our face cam somewhere. So, usually I do this just by extending it pretty much like that. So it's about this size. And I think it'll be better on this side, so I'm actually going to flip this. Just do that over there. Then set that where we need it to. Put a mask on it just so that we can kind of cut off some of the edges. It doesn't really matter because it's off frame here. And then to do the green screen, we're going to do the chroma key here. So, pick that. Cut out the green screen. Make sure it doesn't look too weird. Add a slight amount of blur to it. No, that looks good. You don't need it to be perfect. We're also going to follow this so it's a little bit closer. That way everything's a little bit better in frame. Yeah, something like that. We don't really need the edge over here. Yeah, this... Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. And... oh yeah, we're gonna have to mess around with that too. That's not a huge deal though. There we go. For some reason, sometimes like you get clipped out at the bottom. I'm not sure what's up with the Vegas. I get started D&D campaign if my brother is willing to teach me how to DM. Yes. Striving for perfection doesn't really work, Ron. Often you gotta roll with the punches, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Well, then, I mean, it's like, there's always going to be some parts where I, like, bump the green screen and it shows up. Like, or where the camera wants to autofocus. So it's like, it's always gonna mess up. I've tried to do that before and it's just, yeah. It's like, as long as it looks good enough to fit here, it's fine. Yeah, I guess we just cut up all of this. Usually I cut up the audio first, and then I add in, like, graphics later. So, name this as something. Yeah, let's do, like, updated GK2 overclock tier list. It also kind of helps if I just put something like this rather than just naming it as something random, because at least when I export it, it'll be something like that. No need to re-record stuff over these types of small things. Yeah. Well, what's worse is when it messes up and it doesn't record. That's the worst, or when it records something I didn't intend it to record. All right, hello everybody. Let's cut out that first little part there. Just started right there. Hello everybody. Let's begin. Today we're gonna be doing a tier list video for the GK2. I'm gonna be showing you the builds that I use, and we're gonna be going over the overclocks. Let's see. How does this start again? Today we're gonna be doing. Yeah, we can do some cuts there. I like to cut out all the ums and uhs. It kind of slows down the flow. And I kind of like just the faster pace of
Let's
this.
begin. Today we're going to be doing a tier list video for the GK2.
I think that sounds a little bit better.
And we're going to be going over the
Thanks for getting rid of that.
and ranking them in our tier list.
All right.
Good late stream? Yeah, should be pretty good. And we'll have some of this that we can cut out too. So first up, we're going to go over the cleans, then the balance, then...
Don't really need that either.
We also have chat weighing in on this to see how...
The audio is a bit quiet, but that was kind of on purpose. How dare you? Got him. Ouch, that hurts if it doesn't record at all. Yeah, well, it hurts if it records that or if it records my wrong monitor, like my other monitor, or if it records, like, anything else. And if anybody has any, like, questions or anything, feel free to ask. I'll try to help as much as I can, or if you want any specific edits or something. Like, if you think of something... I want a joke video of only ums and uhs from Ron. There'd be so many. I could probably do that just from like me and my friends, me and my brothers playing something, and I'm just recording it for fun. Or if I want to do like highlights out of it,
and ranking them in our tier
turn
list.
it into
We
shorts
also
or
have chat
something.
weighing in on this to see how well they enjoy each of these overclocks. And first up, we've got...
Yeah, usually I cut out stuff like this too. Again, just to get the thing flowing
ammo.
a bit better.
I've also got Karl.gg pulled up over here. So, compact ammo, just to double check, we've got 5 more mag size and 30% recoil reduction.
Okay. Let's cut
This is a
ahead.
great, well, this is a decent...
Yeah, that would be kind of fun to keep in, but...
For the GK2, does decent damage. Well, GK2 does decent damage as it is. The overclock doesn't... The overclock doesn't help with that, but you get larger mag size, and recoil reduction is nice, although the GK2 it basically has no recoil, and the mag size is kind of whatever.
Yeah, let's do something like this. We'll add music and stuff later too.
Kind of whatever.
I love this kind of behind the scenes stuff. It's really interesting to see. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it.
What do you
I want a
guys think?
Merlin montage. Since we've already announced we have chat weighing in, we can also put in some like graphics and stuff for this too. Yes, nice Merlin montage required.
This was just base kit for the GK2. What do you guys think? Because for me, I think I'm going to put compact ammo into C tier. It's a nice bonus, but it doesn't feel super impactful for the GK2.
Yeah, and again, we can kind of cut this up. We don't need it to be... We don't need this to be exact
bonus,
either.
But it doesn't feel super impactful for the GK2.
You doing tier lists for every weapon in one vid or separate? Separate. I've already done them all in one vid, CD. But people had asked for separated videos so that they can be shorter and they can kind of get the information quicker. And then so that we can actually, well, we can kind of do editing streams like this too. So I can show you how I sort of edit videos. Which usually I don't have any like crazy edits, but right now we're just getting pretty much all the audio set up.
GK2. Any thoughts, or is everybody just on board with that for the GK2? Yeah, probably see Yockle. Like, no downside to it, which is great. The upsides are just kind of whatever, though, because, again, if I'm building regular GK2, I'm usually building it like that. Which, I mean, 30% recoil reduction, awesome, but not necessary, and going from 35 rounds to 40 rounds, kind of cool. Going from 30...
There we go. Something like that.
Necessary, and going from 35 rounds to 40 rounds, kind of cool. Not necessary.
Yeah, we can just do something like that.
Recoil reduction, awesome. Going from 35 rounds to 40 rounds, kind of cool.
There we go.
I feel like, honestly, it'd be nice.
I can't think of any questions, just appreciating the behind the scenes look at stuff. All right.
Just have 35 rounds in the mag. I feel like, honestly...
Let's see, what else do we got further?
It's kind of an average overclock, nothing really to talk about there. Nothing really crazy. I'm just listening and watching. All right, cool.
All right.
yes, deep rock content at 5 a.m. Technically 4:45, but still, what are you doing up this early, Doc?
Yeah, we gotta keep that in. I like that.
4:45, but still, what are you doing up?
I can just put like a subtitle over this later.
I mean, I'm glad that you're here, but that early for you. Go back to sleep. I feel like that's a great overclock for if you love the base GK.
All right, where do we go to the next overclock? It's somewhere here. Is it right here?
1211.
Oh wait, no, that's when we were looking at another build. Okay. So up over here, I think.
Moving on to the second.
Yeah. I think that's enough there. We still want the pacing quick. Dang, Ron, you move quick with these edits? Yeah. I think it's funny when people ask me, like, how do I edit so much stuff so quick? And it's like, this is it. Right now I'm just doing audio. Then I'll do, like, more audio after this by putting in music. So we have, like, subtle background music all throughout. Nothing crazy. And then we'll do, like, some subtitles and stuff in here. Sleep is overrated indeed. Yeah. Yeah, plus I like know all the hotkeys to this. At least all the basic hotkeys that I use frequently. There's plenty of other weird ones that I just don't use that much.
Go back to sleep. Moving on to the second on our list, we have gas rerouting. Gas rerouting gives us one more rate of fire, and it gives us 0.3 seconds fast.
Yeah. Yeah, we can keep that, and then
0.3 seconds fast.
Yeah, cut that
0.3
out.
seconds faster reload speed. I think. Yep. That's exactly what it does.
I can actually even do a zoom right here because I'm thinking of this transition right now. So, it's like that. Oop, oop. Keep it the same, otherwise that's gonna get squished.
I think. Yep, this one I think is a. Yep, this one I think is a bit better.
Actually, that's a little bit fast. Take this back just a little bit. There we go.
Yep, this one I think is a bit better than compact ammo. Like I.
You can
Like,
cut
I
that
would
just for
rather have rate of
space.
fire and the faster reload speed than larger mag size. So I'd put this one slightly higher. I'd put this one up into B tier. I think it's a pretty decent clean
I'm sleeping on the keyboard
Still
over
clean
here.
overclock,
All right.
So no downsides to it, and it just makes your rifle feel better.
Also found a
So
video
if you're a
about the
fan of
math on
base
supercooling
GK2,
chamber.
You're probably
Alright.
gonna be a fan of this one, and you can also
Let's see.
rate of fire on it, which is really fun. I don't know. This is late stream. Yeah, it's late stream.
Yeah, you don't need that.
This is gonna be like a late stream recording set. What do you mean back to sleep? I never woke up. Oh. Yeah, but it chugs too slowly and struggles and has 4 and 5. I like using. I don't have any useful overclocks. Hello, fellow toaster ovens. Hello, Dan.
Okay, kind of just some random stuff there. Let's see where homebrew comes in. I think it's right here.
So statistically, you'll get 10%.
Yeah, it's over here further.
All right. Well, moving on to our other clean overclock.
Start there.
Fan of this one? Well, moving on to our other clean overclock, we have homebrew powder. Homebrew powder randomizes your damage.
Always be sure to
80%
keep saving this too.
130%. So statistically, you'll get 10% extra damage
It's
on
lazy
average. out of
lazy
every
maybes.
shot.
Yeah.
However, even if you build full damage with this, you run.
Oh,
the
is
risk
it lazy
of low
maybe?
rolling
Yeah, lazy
towards
maybe makes great videos too.
Because you go down to like 14.5 damage, and they have slightly over 14.5 health. It's very unlikely that you'll low roll them, but when you do, that is pretty rough on Hazard 4 and 5. You don't really need the extra damage for homebrew,
Let's see.
but it can be okay. I'm not a huge fan of it
And we'll cut this and then
for homebrew powder.
actually we can kind of cut that too because it kind of is redundant then.
You don't really need the extra damage. It can be okay. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, that seems fine enough.
What about you guys? What do you guys think?
Haven't seen Lazy Baby before. He has a lot more comprehensive breakdowns of all the stats and stuff. They're really good.
I think the only good homebrew, well, there's two good homebrews. Grenade launcher, just because it's bait.
We don't really need this in. This was more.
I don't like letting RNGesus take the wheel, you know? Yeah, I can understand coffee.
That's a decent one, too, to have another cutaway. I hit the mark, but then screwed it up. Good thing I gave the right info to repeat. Oh, okay. Yeah, I forget about Super Cooling Chamber, but I was like, when I first seen it, since I'd played so many other games where it's like a percentage of a percentage, I knew it wasn't as impressive as just the, like, adding together as it seems. Because there was other games, particularly Puzzles and Dragons, which I made a few videos about. A couple guides of them, because people didn't realize how good certain abilities were. Because almost everything is a multiple of that game, or everything's a multiple in that game, and it's a multiple of a multiple or a multiple of a percentage. And it gets really kind of confusing because it's like, if you have something that has like 3 times attack and another thing that has 3 times attack, you don't have 6 times attack, you have 9 times attack because you're multiplying them together. And same thing goes with percentages, or it's like if you have 80% damage reduction, another 80%, you don't have 160% damage reduction, you have like 92%. Because you have 80% of 80% that's added to it. So it's like, oh, it's not as impressive that way. Or maybe it's like 96, I don't remember exactly. I know there was a lot of things like that in that game that were just kind of confusing.
Fan of it? I don't like letting RNGesus take the wheel, you know? Yeah, I can understand coffee. Yeah, homebrew is C tier. Yeah, probably lower than compact ammo. Compact ammo is just a bonus.
Yeah, we can cut out that.
C tier. Yeah, probably lower than compact ammo. Compact ammo is just a bonus. Homebrew can be a bonus as long as your plan on has 4 low.
Let's see.
And that's not just to get to like the 20-ish damage that you can have. Homebrew kind of forces you to take like.
Yeah, then we can cut to this because then this is more of the build. We can kind of zoom out for some of these too. Exactly, yeah. Wondering why it was close? Yeah. Kind of odd in that way.
Homebrew kind of forces you to take like damage in tier 2 and tier 3. And that's not just to get to like the 20-ish damage that you can have. It's just so that then when your lowest roll, it's like 14.5 damage.
Yeah, I've always wondered why he laughs so much. I don't know, Chris.
So you can still like,
I just always have
one-shot swarmers. You're pretty much guaranteed to one-shot swarmers. There's a very low chance that you don't. But that's really annoying when you're not able to one-shot them.
We've kind of already went over that, so we don't need to go over it again.
And outside that, I usually just build it like this, which cuts into our ammo and our mag size, which makes it also kind of annoying. Because I feel like those two are just so nice to have with the GK2.
Yeah, we can keep that in, I guess. Depends. I might cut it out again later once we go through this again.
You can go armor breaking, though. If you're not the best shot and you don't hit... You can go armor breaking, though. If you're not the best shot and you don't hit weak spots that much, armor breaking's okay with it. Because then you're statistically hitting pretty hard on body shots and you're ignoring the armor. So...
Yeah, it's not super accurate as to what I said, but...
Not the best shot and you don't hit weak spots that much, armor breaking's okay with it.
Yeah, we can cut that out then. We don't need the explanation there.
Armor breaking's okay with it. Or just make it base. Just give, like, that.
Let's move to the overclocked. Where is that? It's further on. Okay, overclocked.
In my opinion, the GK2 doesn't really have much.
Oh, okay, so we're already talking about it
Moving on
then.
to the balanced ones.
So we can do that one there. 1 a.m. here. Turkey. Ah, cool. 10 p.m. where I am at. Yeah, it's 11 where I'm at. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to edit all of this within like the next hour. Maybe.
He's okay with it. Moving on to the balanced ones, we have overclocked firing mechanism.
6 a.m.
This gives us 3 more rate of fire for doubling our recoil with the GK2. In my opinion, the GK2 doesn't really have much recoil, and the recoil is quite manageable. Giving us 3 more rate of fire is quite manageable.
Yeah, misspoke here. That's okay, we can cut that.
giving us 3 more rate of fire is pretty impressive.
Same here.
This one is probably my favorite GK2 overclock to use.
Let's see, and then we can skip ahead to where we actually...
It's kind of showing how I record, how I make videos, and then how to edit them. How do you like how your dwarf looks?
See.
I would say overclocked firing.
Yeah, we can skip all the way up ahead to there. Cut this a little bit quicker. I should already be to bed sleeping, but this is keeping my attention. Well, that's good. Well, I mean, not good to not have sleep. I can show the rest of this stuff, because it's like, I don't really need to talk about the M1000 stuff. And, let's see. We've got... Okay, so right around here. That'll be like its own separate video. I've got this much more to edit. We can do some other little tricks, though, for the time being, and then just kind of the idea of what I would do, and then I can edit the rest once I have a little bit of time. I've done an all-nighter twice. So, like, this would be the basic way that I would edit, and it would just be like, this is just to sync up all the audio. This isn't really to do, like, graphics or anything, because I just find that takes up too much time. But on top of that, then if I wanted to do transitions, which I plan on doing a couple throughout here.
We're going to be doing a tier list video for the GK2. I'm going to be showing you the builds that I use, and we're going to be going over the overclocks and ranking them in our tier list.
Let's see. There's actually another edit there. So then I'd usually like go over it again to kind of cut up stuff.
Over the overclocks and ranking them in our tier list. We also have chat weighing in on this to see how well they enjoy each of these overclocks. First up, we've got compact.
Okay, so let's go through compact and...
bonus, but it doesn't feel super impactful for the GK2. Any thoughts, or is everybody just on board with that for the GK2? If I'm building regular GK2, I'm usually building it like that. Which, I mean, 30...
Let's see, for this, then I would probably zoom out, because we've got all this information here, so... I can kind of use all of this. And then I can actually probably just keep my face cam there. It's not a huge deal. So you can still see like the weapon stats and stuff here. Maybe focus this a little bit better though. Drop it down to something like that, and then drop it down kind of to there. Just so that this kind of pops out a bit more.
Any thoughts, or is everybody just on board with that for the GK2? If I'm building...
I can also put a transition here if I feel like it's necessary. I don't think it really is for this because it's quick enough. But if I was, then I have all my transitions here that I can kind of go through. So something like a fade like this kind of works. Especially if it's really quick. So then it's just...
If I'm building regular GK2, I'm usually building it...
I think it's something like this. Such technology. Let's see, Rock and Stone. I'm on break from late nights in the mines. Rock and Stone, Matt. I feel like the first time creators edit videos, it has to be the worst thing ever. Not because the work involved, but because it's like listening to the recording of your voice. I didn't really have a problem with that as much as I had a problem just not knowing what the heck I was doing. And that really frustrated me. Because, like, when I first started, I pretty much downloaded Vegas, did not watch any tutorials, and was just, like, slowly learning and what different keys were and how to do certain things. And then, like, some of the videos you can definitely tell when it's like, oh, Ron figured out that there's transitions here. So there's transitions throughout every cut in this video. So it's like every single cut looks like, you know, where it's like, okay, I've got this here, and then I've got this here, and then I've got, yeah, page roll right there. So, you know, every single thing
awesome.
Looks like...
Going from 35 rounds to 40 rounds. Kind of cool. Oh, yeah.
So something like that.
5 a.m. Technically 4:45, but still. I mean, I'm glad that you're here, but...
So it's like, you don't need that many transitions. Like, honestly, that middle zoom wasn't bad, though. The crossfade with the zoom was decent. I think that was crossfade... No, that's AB. I think it was this crossfade. And if I speed it up a bit, then that's probably fine too. Again, not necessary,
Kinda
but
cool. Oh yeah, Steve.
maybe make it a little bit quicker. Yeah, it's just like learning that stuff. Thanks again, Nova. I can feel for you, Ron. I'm kind of self-taught myself editing, trial and error. Yeah, that's what it was. A bit of a learning curve. Yeah, I didn't mind like listening to myself. I didn't have a problem with that. It's just like just not knowing how to do anything, not knowing how to pace stuff, and like wanting to do cool things, but just not knowing how. That was like the most annoying. So let's see, where's
Oh
some
yeah, Deep Rock content at 5 a.m.
like this is a decent time to put in like subtitles too, because it kind of breaks up the flow of the story, so it's not just static. And then we can like we can animate this too. So let's go. Usually I use the sample text, but any sample text would work.
Oh yeah, Deep Rock.
You can kind of fade this in too. All right, so is whoops. Just do some animated stuff just to kind of show how I do it. Yeah, that's good enough. Oh, whoops. Drop that down. Yeah, sure, something like that. That looks good. Then there's a little bit of a font there. Actually, we don't even need this because I can just animate it to where we do the timing. This is also how I kind of do like the bouncing text in some of the videos early on usually. So I think that was 3. Do 4 keyframes over. Zoom in slightly. Go another like 2 to 3 keyframes back and then restore it. That way it kind of bounces.
Oh yeah.
It looks kind of weird when you're actually watching back the edits. I think it's because there's another transition there. But it's like,
Oh yeah.
you can kind of see it bounce up and put back down. Gives it something a little bit more.
Oh yeah, Deep Rock content.
All right. Copy and paste that. Then I don't remember how the rest of this went. How did it go?
Content at 5 a.m. technically.
Okay, at 5 a.m. Okay, at
Oh yeah, Deep Rock content at 5 a.m.
then copy and paste again.
Technically 4.
Oh, whoops, that's not the right one. I'm still on the other one. Let's see, I'll ask my last question, then I'm calling it a day. What do you guys think about the Warthog mods? Not overclocks in general. Does it need to be reworked? I would like a little bit of a rework. It has some odd ones to pick. But my eyes are trying to shut themselves, so I'm gonna go to bed. Rock and stone, everybody. All right, Groves, take care. Rock and stone. Sure, I misspelled technically there. That's fine. I'll go back and change it when it matters. Let's say 4:40 something a.m. 4:45 a.m. I think.
Technically 4:45. Technically 4:45, but still.
Then there we go. We got kind of animated frames throughout.
Yes, Deep Rock content at 5 a.m. Technically 4:45, but still. I mean, I'm glad that you're here, but if it's that early for you, go back to sleep. Moving on to the second on our list, we have
We can also do another like transition here if we wanted. So one of my favorites is the push one. Then we can add a sound effect, so I can kind of show you how I do that too, for anybody wanting to know. That's not really the best push there because it's like we're just kind of going on over there. But I guess for the purposes of this, it'll kind of help. So I've got a giant library of just sound effects. Oh yeah, here's the picture that was sent. Oh, whoops, it's not even gonna show because yeah, it's the one I was talking about earlier with the yeah, 3 streamers who have run the most the most campaigns over the last 3 years, and apparently I'm right there. It looks like Charlanzar? Don't know if that's how you say her name or not. Is the most 8-bit drummer Tiffany and Lomadish. Anyway, this is the picture that somebody had sent me, which is funny. So when are you getting a stream of you editing a stream into a video? Yes, exactly. The full meta. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe. Anyway, what I was gonna do is do my my sound effects. And then sad sound. I don't even know what that is. All right, anyway. Go for a swoosh sound effect. Drag that all the way down. I don't even remember which one we're on. Need to delete some of these tracks because they don't have anything on them. Oh, okay, it's at this one with the push. Can I actually make that a little bit smaller? This way it goes a little bit quicker.
If it's that early for you, go back to sleep. Going on to the second.
Can actually put that a little bit further because the way that it comes in.
That early for you, go back to sleep. Going on to the second on our list, we have gas reroute.
Starting to be on here, yeah.
More rate of fire, and it gives us.
That's not the greatest swoosh, but that's usually how I do that effect. And also, I don't think it's necessary here. Oops. Alright, put it back to normal. And yeah, that's kind of the normal way that I edit stuff. Other than that, it would just be like adding a few other things. I'm going to save this to be edited a little bit later, but I think you guys kind of understand at least the basic editing stuff that I do. Again, if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to ask me. I'm more than willing to help, but let's see. And then usually I'll grab something like this, toss it in here at the end, and then kind of do like a fade out for each of these. Don't know if they're actually going to end here, but we'll keep that up for just the sake of it. It's kind of funny to see you made it into the top 5 for something while you were editing a tier list. Yeah, that is kind of funny. I don't know. Somebody told me that earlier today during one of the, I think it was the first Silent Hill, maybe it was the second Silent Hill stream. I don't remember which. It was one of them. Said that I was on something there at TwitchCon, and I was like, why am I at TwitchCon? Like, I'm not a full-time Twitch streamer. I'm not like a partner or anything. I'm not even an affiliate over on Twitch. Like, why would they have me over there? But, you know, whatever it is. Yeah, so I'm going to leave this here right now, guys, for the stream and everything. This was really fun. It was fun to make the tier list with you guys. Dang, that supporter list is getting bigger on it. Is. The last time I made it, I had to shrink down everything and see how it looked so I could add more names onto the end, because I would like put so many names here and then go down to the next row and do the same thing, and then I have to shrink it and add more names to it. But yeah, and that's awesome that there's so many supporters. It will need to be like a scrolling panel at some point if it keeps going like this. You need the rolling credits soon. I think I actually have something for that. Not project nodes. Is it media generator? Yeah. Credit roll. There we go. Plain scrolling text.
All right. So that's all of the GK2.
See? You can do that.
Like, well, that's cool.
It's also the same way I do the like the whatever that is called, like technical difficulties thing. Byron, I guess I must go to sleep now. All right, Nova, take care. Yeah, I'm still I still need to add some background music to this. Do the rest of the audio cuts and then do a few more like graphics over the top. And it should be good to go. And then for rendering, I just go into here and then like render everything. And for anybody wondering rendering settings, I do render, because I record in 1080p, I render it up to 2K. That's to get a better encoder on YouTube so it looks better, so that dark scenes don't look super dark. Not necessary at all with tier lists like this, but it does look really good if I'm playing like anything that has dark backgrounds to it. Take care, Ron and everybody. Oh, well, thank you. Been lurking and been really interested and fun to see how you go about editing. I'm off to bed. Thanks for the stream. Oh, yeah. Rockin' stone, everybody. That's a good tip. Oh, thank you. Take care and bye. Yeah, everybody take care. Have a great night. I will be streaming again tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be Deep Rock Open Lobbies. We're going to be doing the Deep Dive, Elite Deep Dive, and then we're going to be doing some Has 5 stuff, which should be very fun. So thanks everybody for being here with me tonight. I do appreciate that, especially with it just being a surprise stream. Byron, get you later. All right, get you later, Labyrinth. Very fun to see the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, it's very fun to do this. Most of the time I'm just doing it here, like well, usually I have like videos or I have some sort of movie or something going. So like I'm kind of half watching it and then just like half editing stuff. And it's like, this way I can actually at least focus on it. So it doesn't take me too long to actually make these videos in total. Like a video like this shouldn't take me more than like an hour to like fully edit it, at least like audio wise, and then like syncing up some stuff will take like another 30 minutes or something. But you know, whatever. Not too bad. Good vibes. Yeah, catch you later, Matt. All right, good night everybody, take care, bye bye.